Well, lately I've been wondering about what's been going on the local, on the global, all across the horizon. At the rising of the dawn to the setting of the sun, when the night creepeth in, more and more havoc is run. DMC, do more crazy things, get done while you sleep. It's the turning of a chapter, the end as we speak. Too much BS on the regular, causing all the secular, segregating energy. The world needs an editor, scripted on a regular, building up the reservoir, not heading for the jugular, restructuring the cellular. I'm telling you, not sparing you, enlighten you, not biting. Are you ready for the truth? Take a look all around you. Lately I've been wondering about what's been going on. We be pushing, eventually it's gone. On a daily I've been wondering what's been going on. We be pushing, eventually it's gone.
It's Costello! Alright, that was that. Whoa. Hey guys!
Hi!
How are you all doing?
So good. That track is such a vibe.
She's so good. You know her personally, Trey?
I don't know her. Peanut butter?
Peanut butter. And that song was called Achilles. I hope I said that right. Welcome everybody. Hi Seville in your party house in Fiji.
Hello. Bula Vinaka from Fiji. Suva, by the way.
Oh, sorry about it. Hi Suva.
Silver City.
Because
Yay.
Silver City, yes.
Wow.
Yes. It's so good to see you both.
You too. It's been a while. Yaudana to everyone
It certainly has
joining
been a
you.
while.
MJ here, joining you from Dharawal country here, Liverpool, Sydney, just clocking off work, but it's good to jump on board and to chat with you both, and also just to see what everyone else is doing. It's been a couple of weeks. Hi, Trey.
Bula Vinaka, Talafalava. Listening in from Dara country here, Western Sydney. And normally we'd have many guests on the show, but since it's our last day, we thought we'll be the special guests. So we're looking forward to having a chat and catching up, because we haven't seen each other for so long, right?
It has been a while. Seb was Seb was over in Fiji, and you look amazing, Seb. You look like you're totally relaxed, like you just.
Do you like my tan? Do you like my tan?
I do. Oh, is that muscles? We have some muscles there as well.
Hey, I've been doing my 5K runs on the beach, been swimming, been eating good, clean food, 80% of the time.
What have you been eating?
Oh, a lot of seafood, right? And the sea grapes and coconut milk in Fiji. We call it miti when it's just fresh coconut, and then, the lolo is when it's cooked, but the miti is when it's still raw coconut cream. So Trey knows. Trey was in Fiji, and we had a great time here, and so we had some great adventures. We'll share a little bit more about that. But it's great so far. Thank you.
That's awesome. Just want to say you too, Bula to Heidi, joining us. She says, "Hey Trey, did you see that, Trey?"
Hey Heidi.
Yeah, good and Lyric and Cephal.
Oh, welcome. Lyric and Bula Cephal and Kirana Lyric.
Yes, Bula Cephal.
Yeah.
Cephal mother says hello.
It's good to see everyone on. Well, you look amazing, and it's nice to see you. And I can see you've got that sun-kissed Fijian suntan going on. I'm slightly jealous. Trey, you just came back from Fiji as well. Several, you're in Fiji at the moment. I can't wait to hear about your adventures. But I'm here in little old Matavai, just finishing off work, and I've had to use blush and some bronzer to try and get the same look as you.
You look amazing.
Well, there's been no sun. Only the last couple of days, Sev. There's been sun. It's been raining. Oh, it's crazy.
Wow.
Well, my grace. And just before I go on, I just want to congratulate a couple of people. Sev, you may or may not have heard Imelda Davis has been elected into Sydney Council.
Well done. Well done.
Our elder. And also congratulations to our Tongan sister, Melissa Malu. She's been appointed the manager of the Pacific Collections and Engagements at the Australian Museum.
Congratulations,
And Samoan artist Angela Tiatia, who has this phenomenal digital artwork, and it's exhibiting at the New South Wales Art Gallery. If you have a chance, make sure you go down and see it. It's incredible. So there's exciting things happening for Pacifica people here in the community.
So exciting. So good to hear,
So
right?
true.
Like as we go into the next year, and exciting to see how our networks will be strengthened, because we've got 3 people in key positions. Is that the first Pacific person that we've got in local council?
In Sydney?
So we look in Sydney.
I don't know.
Look forward to more of that.
I don't know about being the first, but definitely, I don't know about being the first, but definitely for the city of Sydney, yes, that is the first. So I'm so glad that Imelda is in there. Of course, her team with the Lord Mayor, and it's just fantastic to see. I voted for that because that's my voting ground in the city of Sydney, and so it's so good to see them in there. So well done, congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
And representing our Pacifica people.
Go Imelda.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Now, ladies, how are you both? Like, all where we are currently and so forth. I hear that the rules have eased in New South Wales, and what is the deal now there as far as all those rules?
No check-ins required, no masks, only masks in certain enclosed spaces, right? So
right,
it's all a bit of a transition for so many of us, because the cases are going, and then we're like, hold on, rules, restrictions ease. But as you mentioned, we were in Fiji, and we'll share a bit about the trip later. But for me, I'm just like, okay, coming out of isolation where everything's so strict, and then our travel periods where we had to do this, and then now it's like, I went out today for the first time, and it's like, no one's wearing a mask, no one's checking in. But I think we're all in a period of transition and just trying to get used to the new restrictions, But I noticed people not checking in. Some were wearing masks though. As for me, I'm still gonna wear a mask because I want to protect me and my family. But how about yourself, MJ? Like, how are you finding it?
Yeah, I'm still going to do the same. I'm still going to wear a mask, and I'm still going to I'll be a nerd and check in with the QR code, because I don't know if they're still going to update that, but I would like to know if I've been in a place where there's COVID. But I don't know if they're still going to be monitoring that. I'm really good, Sev and Trey. I just trying to live day by day, really. I'm really appreciating the exciting moments that we've been having lately, mainly because we're around other people that don't live with us. And like last night was our last Matavai show group rehearsal for the year, and I kept saying to the kids and trying to remind myself that we should really save, take advantage of every moment we have together and enjoy it. And as much as practice is annoying, we may not have moments like this in the future. We just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So just trying to enjoy the moments that we have with other people. I had 2 people very close to me, one in my house that had COVID, and that was a really scary time because I'd been around them, like in the car. My son was drinking from the same cup. And then next day we found out they were COVID positive. But this is where the vaccine really kicked in. They didn't transmit the COVID to us. So nobody they came in contact with caught COVID, even though we were in all these confined spaces together for hours on end. So it's something I don't want to have, but I know that inevitably we probably all will experience COVID. But it wasn't a very nice thing to have, according to my loved ones. Yeah. And that's me.
Oh, bless them.
But what about you, Sev? It sounds like there's a party there.
Yes, we're having a little pool party, a very private, XXXXX private party. Not X in a naughty way, just X in the fact that it has to be very private, because my two beautiful ladies that are in the pool are very extra, and very, very VIP, that I cannot have them on film. Put it that way. Because it's very, very high profile.
Hush, hush.
Oh.
It's very hush, hush. Discreet.
So we keep ourselves very discreet. But what I was going to say is I got the boost before I left Sydney. So I made sure that I got the boost. And it's good to know that with this Omicron variant, that the booster, pushing your immunity into a really high level, really deals with that well, right? And as you're mentioning, Mary Jane, and I think it's just time now that people take care of themselves. I think that in terms of this openness that is coming out, and people have got to take responsibility. We can't be protecting those by locking ourselves in because of people who don't want to take the vaccine. That's their choice. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all have them in our families and in our circles. But I can't live in fear. My mom is so concerned about that, being a retired nurse, and she's been involved in vaccination throughout Fiji throughout all her working years in nursing. And, we just have to go, we can share, we can tell our families and encourage them, but now it's their choice, and we can't live in fear because of that. So I'm glad that we are free to now be able to do a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
And enjoy life and move on and live the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Trey, you want to tell everyone what we're going to do tonight, since we don't have guests?
Well, as we alluded to earlier, we'll be the special guest. But the first one that we have fresh of the rank, reported live and direct, our one and only Mr. Fiji.
Yes, wait. You want to go back to this?
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, making time, Seb.
Well, I've got a first question.
I tell you.
No, you go. You can
bring it on.
Can we ask anything, really personal things, or are we going to keep it professional?
You know me, I'm not really afraid to go there, but you better be prepared for the answer, so don't get a shock.
Ouch. Okay. Sorry about it. All right. Well, my first question is, why did you go to Fiji and leave us? Why did you move there?
Well, really, this has been part of my plan as I launched into my own. I started a company after I left my last role. And I decided to just venture out and work for myself and do consultancy service. And during the lockdown, I've created a couple of products and brands that we're going to start rolling out into the Pacific, which I'm excited about. And Fiji is the first point where we're going to launch out into. So I hit the ground running. We've been working on the ground, getting everything ready, and the opportunities here now. And so, it's a good time to just come and have a little bit of a sea change. Blessed, absolutely blessed to have the opportunity to pack my bags, jump on a plane, travel. And, if we get locked down here, I'm happy to be locked down here. Beautiful space, everything. And so, so both work. There's definitely... Yes, exactly. So I'm looking forward to the two of you coming and spending time with me. Trey already has, but I'm looking forward to MJ as well, and we do some live shows from here.
That would be awesome. You go, Trey. What's your question?
Well, we know that you've been busy. What have you been up to? Like, setting up the work stuff, but what else have you been doing? Like, it's been a while, right? Almost 2 years since you've stepped back on land on the Vanua. What has that been like, going back in this new time that we're in?
Wow, I have to say that Fiji is, as far as the protocols and following all the COVID safety procedures and so forth, they're just on the mark. People are still wearing masks, following all of it. We have the QR code system. You have to isolate for the first 3 days when you arrive. The list goes on as far as vaccination and then isolation for 3 days. And so because tourism is such a big part, especially Australian tourism is such a big part of the Fiji economy, they've really made sure that the systems are in place, the facilities, the hotels, like Mary Jane, you've had to, as Trey knows, everything is certified. So the hotels you're staying at is certified. And the people that take you from the aeroplane to, your transfers are all certified. They're
What
really
do you mean
tight
by
with that. And then you're living in
certified?
a bubble for 3 days until you can then, well, it's government approved. They have to follow certain requirement and standard. So they're really onto that to make sure that, the visitors, the tourism is protected, and that once they go out, all of those measures are in place to protect that.
Well, they're really leading the way, aren't they? Like they've stepped out, one of the first places to say, hey, in the Pacific, it's to open their doors to people to come in and enjoy it. Have the COVID cases increased? What's the situation like in terms of COVID? Down.
Fiji's over 90% double vaxxed, like New South Wales. So the death rates and everything has declined. The cases have declined, and they've been very conservative with how they open up even the different bubbles. Right? Curfews are still on, so it's all about managing all of that very tightly. Yeah, so they've managed well. It's very different from how it was. Remember when the crisis was here, and the cases were just skyrocketing, and deaths were, major deaths coming from it. But now it's very different. Really good.
Yeah.
So good. And Sev, any advice for people coming to Fiji? Can you hear me? In regards to people coming to Fiji, Sev, what advice do you have?
Well, if he can't hear us, what about you, Trey? You were just there.
Yeah.
Look,
Here's Seville. There he is.
the systems are all in place. You just have to make sure. Maybe one good advice if you're coming to Fiji is to watch Trey and I's Trey. Sorry, there's a bit.
You're right. I think your internet's having a party too. What about you, Trey? What advice would you give to people that are traveling, thinking of traveling?
Follow the rules, that they have in place, and mask, isolate, hand sanitizer, all the stuff that we did here in New South Wales. Continue that,
Yeah.
And look, in the last 12 days, I've had about 4 tests, COVID tests, so in order to leave the country, you have to have one, and then as soon as you get there, they bring the people to the hotel to test you. And before you leave, you have another test. When you get back into Sydney, you have another test, and then I have another test tomorrow. So I'm just taking upon myself to continue that. Tomorrow I don't have to, but I'm doing that, you know, just checking, and then I'll have another one next week, you know. So if you're going to travel, just be responsible, you know, check the Smart Traveler website, and also check the Fiji website, the places that you're going to, because it's going to change all the time, you know. And Fiji's cases, I think they're average, it's like currently 11 cases compared to us, so it's pretty safe.
Your nose must be pretty clean, eh, Trey, with all the stuff being shoved up there. No, honest. You know
what?
when we were testing every second day since the COVID case in our house, and my nose was like, oh, I can't take any more of this. Yeah.
I get bad sinus, you know, so I hate it. And when I was working in one of the essential services, we were getting tested every day. And like I said, I can't do this. Like, it's too much.
It was pretty funny to do
Seb,
it as a family.
feedback.
Yeah, Seb, what's happening there? Seb, are you back, or are you just gonna smile the whole night? With no voice. We're not unmuting him. Can you unmute? No, it won't unmute.
You're on mute, Seb.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm just gonna, while he fixes his mic, we'll take him out of there. He can try and fix his mic to get it off the mute. Hey, I've been talking to my friends in some more that own hotels, and they're really watching what's happening in Fiji. Hey, they're desperately wanting to open, and I think, from what I hear, the borders are going to open to Samoa in February. So we'll see how this Omicron thing works out. Yeah, hopefully that will go well.
Yeah, and our thoughts are with them all. You know, it's very challenging. So sad to see firsthand everyone that's lost their jobs, you know. And when you go to the hotels or the shops, people are so happy to see you, like, welcome, you know. The cab drivers, the shops, everywhere. So, you know, you just want to spend, tip. And to us, it's a couple of dollars here, but to them, that's their family, that's their food, you know, for the week. So we look forward to things getting better in the Pacific for our people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Steph, how are you going with unmuting?
It's a bit time delayed. That's why I'm just muting and unmuting myself, but I can hear you both. But sorry, I'm dropping in and out because the internet is a bit funny.
All good, Sev.
Thank you, Sev. Thanks for updating us on what's going on in Fiji. Yeah. On Fiji time.
You're welcome.
It's Fiji time.
Who's our next guest?
The next,
well, it is Miss MJ herself.
Well, before we go there, what do we have, Trey?
We've got our Oceania quiz.
Yes.
We've got our Oceania quiz.
Okay, so you know how it's Christmas around the corner, Sev, you better have some good questions. So Christmas is around the corner, and Christianity is, you know, most islands in the Pacific are Christian nations. So tonight, the Oceanic quiz is about Christianity and the coming of Christianity to the Pacific. So here's the question. Please put it in the comments if you know the answer. What was the first Christian denomination to begin or bring missionary work to the Pacific? What was the first Christian denomination to begin or bring missionary work to the Pacific? Any of you know? No? Yeah? I'm really wanting to join this party he's having.
We'll have to fly over there. You'll have to fly soon.
Yeah. So we'll come back with the answer, Trey, for Oceanic quiz.
We will.
Anglo-Saxon? Is that it?
Yes, I do know.
Oh, okay, you do? What's your guess? It's not Buddhism. Well, it's not Christian, is it? What about you, Trey? You know?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, well.
But after this, I will.
Okay, we'll come back with the answer. So, who's your next guest?
Our next guest.
Do you want me to say it?
Share some of the. We'll come back with it. Oh.
This guy is going into the black hole again.
Hey, but do you want to share some of the interesting facts about how Christian missionaries traveled to Oceania, and they had that aim, right, of changing our societies? And in Tahiti, the missionaries converted a prominent chief, Pomare. Is that how you'd say it? Pomare?
Yeah.
Pomare?
Yeah.
The second, who controlled the area of Matavai Bay.
Yeah. So I guess we should just tell the answer then. The answer to the question is Christianity was brought to the Pacific Islands by missionaries from Western Europe. From the 1660s, the Spanish Roman Catholic priests from their base in the Philippines began missionary work in several island groups of the North Pacific. But the first actual permanent mission was commenced by British missionaries of the London Missionary Society. Have you heard of them? LMS? They sent first agents to Polynesia. 1797 was the first established mission, and that was in Tahiti. So yeah, you're right, Trey.
Wow. There you go. See, we learn something new every day. Very interesting. Yeah. And you know.
No, you go.
Well, sorry, I'm like getting bits tongue-tied here, but they failed, right? They had a few attempts. The LMS, that sounds like a gang, the LMS. They had a few attempts in Tonga and the Marquesas, but more successful in the Society Islands and the Tuamotus, the Cook Islands, and then later Samoa. Did they go to Fiji, LMS?
Yes, they actually did. They did go to Fiji. And the same thing, they took indigenous leaders and converted them. And then they used them to spread the word around the Pacific. So meanwhile, Polynesian societies were also facing varying degrees of lawlessness and disorder at the hands of European beachcombers and traders. So the British missionaries, responded by creating missionary kingdoms. Yeah. So it's really interesting history. Yeah. Okay. So moving on.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when we come back next year, Sev's internet will be better. And he won't be. Well, there's a cough there. Hey, don't you hate when you go out and you want to cough and you can't, and then you choke on your cough, or you have to get up and go to the bathroom because if you cough, someone's going to stare at you as if you've got. Do you know how many times I've needed to cough and I just can't?
How about coughing on a plane?
Ooh.
I coughed on the plane going there and coughed on the plane coming back. and then here's my hand sanitizer and here's my mask.
Yeah, because we ate out the other night and I choked on something and then I started coughing and then I found myself saying really loud, I choked on something. Can someone pass me the water? I've choked. There's something stuck. I'm like, well, why am I trying to justify myself? Because people next to me were looking at me like it's annoying.
Yeah.
If you want to cough, just cough. But
let's shake it off. Yeah. Oh, feel free, people. It's okay. But hey, MJ, you've been pretty busy, right, over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't. Yeah.
Hey?
Pardon?
Do you want to share what you've been up to?
Yeah, first of all, I want to apologize. I wasn't able to make the last couple of weeks. I was a little bit busy. As you can see, we're still here at Matavai since everything opened again. It's just been, working all the time, which I'm so grateful for. But yeah, we've been really, really busy. We went down to Shepparton, Victoria. We crossed the border first time in like 2-3 years. So just driving a bus down to Victoria to perform at the Pacifica Festival in Shepparton. And you may not know this, but in Victoria, they have like 2 Pacifica festivals and they're big ones. So one in, I think, Fitzroy and the other one in Shepparton. So it's a rural area. Just want to shout out to the organizing committee, Melissa Silanga, for organizing an amazing event. Matavai performed amazing. The kids are awesome. Just so much resilience. Like, Trey, our bus broke down 4 times on the way. And then the final time, this like metal thing came flying off the back of a truck. Like I could see it spearing into the bus. and it just like shattered the window of the bus and like went into the what do you call it, glove box. If it had been like this much higher, it would have gone straight through Fred, my husband. And while this is happening, like this spear, like all these poles coming towards us, Fred's still making e-gatus, ballets for the kids, and he just didn't stop. And he's like, oh, that's not good. So yeah, we just never stopped. So that's been happening. And I'll show you a bit. Actually, I'll show you our photo. Guys, you want to see a photo? If you can see it. So this is the bus. So this is us on the side of the road. This is probably the third time we broke down. Little kids, you know. So nobody complained. There was a lot of laughter.
Bring out the mat. Bring out the mat.
Yeah, I tell you, if you go on a road trip, make sure you have Fijians on the trip. They really make something a little bit serious really lighthearted. And then, of course, this is the spear that went through the window. And Freddie, yeah. So that was a bit exciting and scary. And then this is a group performing at Pacifica Festival.
Hey!
Yay! That's our crew there with Gena, Irikena, and Grace, who are the tutors. And they were just awesome, you know, like there were Fijians there, Trey, and they were having fun. They must have thought, man, look at these white kids. What are they going to do? And then when the kids started and they can actually make it really good, then they started smiling and relaxing. And they're like, oh, this is interesting. These, you know, kids doing that. So, yeah. But we've got a lot of, yeah. The kids were awesome. Yeah, thanks for asking though, Trey.
And I'm glad that you guys are okay, you know, like that's crazy. And we thank the Lord, you know, that He's always protecting you all and protecting the kids.
Yeah, well,
God is all safe.
Well, it could have been a little car. If it was a little car, that wouldn't have been, somebody would have passed, you know. And you know, I've seen, being Pacifica, and you know, most of us are God-fearing people, pray a lot before, you know, every time the bus left, we were praying. We thought to ourselves, you know, one of the mums said we were the answer to somebody else's prayers, because if the bus wasn't there and it had a family in a car, they wouldn't have made it.
Amen.
So
yeah. So true. So true. And then you guys did the festival and the show was amazing, yeah?
Yeah, the show was good. I guess some of the things coming up in the future for Matavai, we are really excited to be organising a production. So anyone in Sydney, listen out to Matavai social media. We're going to be, you know, putting it out there in the community to see if people want to join in on this production. It's going to be a production about resilience, about Pacifica spirit, and we're planning to make it quite big. So that should be coming out in a matter of weeks if people want to join. Also, if you're part of our community already, look out for your emails and we'll put that out. So there's that. I think one of the things I'm most excited about, Trey, is the fact that we're going to have a counsellor on site every Wednesday at Matavai for our kids and our families. So if you're in the area and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, just know that at Matavai on Wednesdays that we have a counsellor, and the amazing Moira Tufunga. She's going to be set up here.
Amazing.
Yeah, and also in other things we're trying to organise to make sure that we have a safe and supportive environment for our community here at Matavai. We're going to have, we've teamed up with Western Sydney Uni, and they're going to provide us with social work students they'll be doing their work placement here. And one of the programs, which you know very well, Trey, is the Talanoa sessions. We're going to have the Talanoa session here as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, yeah, sorry. There's a lot of things. We're going to have work displayed at the Australian Museum. God willing, everything goes to plan. But, yeah.
It will. It will. Yeah. And, you know, it's good to hear that, you know, and Matavai's building, you know, and cementing foundations and bringing in the right support. So amazing to see Matavai growing. So congratulations.
Thank you,
and
Trey.
It's only like starting. It's only the first quarter, right? This is imagine if that's the first quarter.
But
what's in store, you know.
At the same time, for organizations like ours, we have to have contingency plans, because although we want to do a big production and people are going to come to an event, what if we can't? What if the cases expand, increase again, and we just have to cover. It's not just
Yeah.
straight
Plan
path.
A.
Never. Yeah, it
Plan
never
B.
is.
Plan
Yeah.
C.
Absolutely. And I think that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but it's certainly very challenging. It's challenging to plan ahead, and we always worked hard, but the kind of work now is a different type of hard. It's really a lot of thinking as well. Yeah,
And
you
it's
would know
new
too.
territory. It's
Yeah.
new territory, right? But I always tell creatives, luckily when you're a creative, we're always solving, like whatever situation, and I see it with you and with Matavai, like whatever challenge is placed, you guys are like part of the ones paving the way on how to do things differently, so what you guys are doing will influence the sector, not just in culture and the arts, but across different sectors. So good on you, and you will always be resource, and I'm excited to see the new things that happen.
But you know what means the most to me though, Trey, apart from all of that, is being supported by a community. There are times, and we all feel it as Pacifica people. Some of the harshest critics can be our own people. Being whether they accept you or whether, a lot of the times, we're invited to all these amazing things at these, institutions that have been very hard to get your foot in the door. But what means the most is when it's, when you're acknowledged by your own community. So that's something too. But
Absolutely.
that's fine when you are, like you said, paving the way. Sometimes it's a lonely road, and I want to encourage people that are on similar paths. It's very lonely, and don't be discouraged when you feel like you're not being supported. If you're genuine about your intentions and your purpose and your convictions, you can't stop. You just got to keep going and praying. And sometimes I don't feel so good, like I find it hard to keep fighting, but the option to give up is not an option for us.
Amen. Thank you for sharing that, because I guess people always see us when you're doing well, or you guys when you're doing well, but they don't see the challenges behind the successes. So thank you for reminding us of that, and highlighting if people feel like they want to give up, reach out, right? And we've got networks and communities for us to tap into, so let us do that. And there will be more of that. There's talk of a arts and cultural Pacific community network that's starting up in the new year, where we need to be supporting and resourcing and working on how do we work with institutions, how about our IP, how about the cultural knowledge of our, like, all these important conversations, so we're part of the ones setting all of that up, for the next generation. So it's safeguarded and we can continue to pass it on. So it's exciting times for all of us. Eh?
And also,
Very
thank
exciting.
you, Tala Goshi. She said we need to be more supportive no matter what for our people who are starting something to make a difference for others. Yes, that's so true, Tala. And maybe, okay, I could share my, experience. Maybe, sometimes we don't get the support from our own, community or people, but I want to be able to teach the kids that come to us to be those people, to be that support for other people. I want to nurture a community and a culture at Matavai that is positive and optimistic, and know that you can't rely on externals a lot of the times to feed your ego because it's not real. So you have to be strong in yourself and believe in what you do. And so I hope the kids at Matavai can be that example to other people. And that's how we change things. Yeah.
So true. And we see it happening, so it's a good reminder for all of us as well. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to see all the amazing things happening.
Yeah. I am too. I want to
So good.
acknowledge Multicultural New South Wales. They've put faith in Matavai and our kids in our community. It's not in the directors or the teachers. It's in our whole community to put together something that will bring the community together, bring our, not just Pacifica, but the wider community together through this production. I want to acknowledge Multicultural New South Wales for the trust they've put in us, and all, like Western Sydney Uni as well. It means a great deal to our kids, especially.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So
good
you're
to
up
see.
next. Thanks for asking me these questions. If anyone has any questions
All
to
good.
ask Ray, hi Del, she's up next. But before we go to that, I want
It's one of our favorite segments.
Yeah, what rocked your coconuts? It looks like Seville's rocking something coconuts in Fiji. It doesn't look like he's going to join us again.
He's
Literally
drinking
rocking.
and rocking coconuts.
Yeah, here we go. So
what rocked our coconuts? Oh my gosh, 1742. That rocked my coconuts. The overnight cases, right, in the last 24 hours in New South Wales, So that's pretty shocking, coming back, and it's 800 and then over 1,000 and now it's almost 2,000. So I just pray that they say that the recovery rate of the current virus is pretty quick, right? So I hope that that's true, and that, people will get it and then they'll work through it and it'll all be fine, because we're not checking in, we're not wearing masks out there. I just, we hope that the next few days things start to go down, that the cases go down. So we've got to keep an eye on that. But that rocked my coconuts. How about yourself?
Oh, today the two young kids down in Tasmania. I didn't actually have anything too much that rocked my coconuts this week, but just today I just wanted to just share about the two. So a school down in Tasmania, they had I guess it was like a market day or a last day of celebrations, and there was a jumping castle, and the kids were jumping in the castle, and the wind blew the castle at least 10 meters in the air. I believe there's about 7 critically injured and 2 young kids passed away. And I just can't imagine how the parents must be feeling. And I guess, it's not a good time.
Very tragic.
So, yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and I did see some Pacifica people were sharing about it. So I guess they know the kids. So I'm not sure.
So sad.
Yeah.
We pray for the parents and the families impacted. Like, what a terrible thing to happen, especially at this time. So our thoughts and prayers are with them. Yeah, just a reminder, like what you said earlier, right? Savor every day, and like what you were saying to the kids last night, we've got to savor the moments that we have together. Can't take them for granted. So thank you for reminding us of that.
I think that's one of the greatest things, like if anything positives come out of COVID, it's been the fact that we are way more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. And I think we should all pat ourselves on the back for making it this far, just getting up in the morning. Congratulations. And also the fact that we can adapt and readapt and reconfigure and just keep rolling with the punches. There's never been any time in my life that I've had to readjust as much as I have now. And I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same way. So, I want to acknowledge everybody too. Like, good job.
Yeah, pat on your back.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of changes still. So acknowledge yourself for going through that, and processing the ups and the downs that we've all been experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up next is you, Trey. It's our last show for the year, and Trey, you've been doing some incredible things. A lot of people may not know your whole story about, raising your kid on your own, being in the hip hop scene, like just breaking down barriers. I have so much respect and love for you, sister. So tell us, you handed in your last assignment for your degree, and you will now be graduating. How is that feeling for you? Like, how do you feel about that? How long were you studying for?
Oh my gosh, so it's a 4-year full-time degree. I think I did it for 10 years. I did the first year and a half full time. Then when my dad passed, I took time out, and then I slowly just started with 1 unit a semester, and then 2, and then 3, and I just kept building up until I could actually get back into that academic frame of mind and just smashed it. I actually finished with distinctions, you know. Um, and like through COVID as well, like most of that. But it's also because Western Sydney Uni very supportive. Mora Tufunga was my supervisor, and having people like Bernadette Stevens, when she was at uni, and then Georgie Ravulo when he was at Western Sydney Uni. So having key Pacific people along the way that gave me advice that I check in with, and that's why I'm positive, and I know that when we've got things to do, we always get resource, right? The Lord will always bring the right people at the right time and connect us. So very blessed. First, I'll be the first one in my immediate family to graduate, and probably like one of 3 in my extended family to graduate, because I was born in the islands, second generation here. So excited to keep building on that. I love learning. I'm going to go back and I'm going to need half a year and do my master's and then continue. We have to write our stories, like a lot of the times I complain about this and that, but I'm like, I can't complain, I got to do it. I'm interested in documenting our stories. I do it through music, I'm doing it through books and digital media, but academia as well, because non-Pacific people are writing it. We can't have that. So never too late to start. When I was in class, I'd have Fijian grandmas, that when they'd speak to me in Fijian in the class. And I'm like, wow, Nana's here. Nana's here. Keep going, Trey. you know?
Were they
Yeah,
from
so
Were they from Fiji, Trey? Were they? Were they? Or
no,
they?
they were living here but
Yeah.
recently arrived, Yeah, living here.
Um.
Yeah. Can
You
you hear the
also
music by any chance?
no. Can you? What music?
No, you can't. Okay. No, all good.
Tell us then. What
I
are
was
your
trying to
future?
play music, but it's all good.
Oh, were you? What are your
My
future
future.
plans? Yeah, or what are some of the big things? Looking back on the year, what are some of the bigger things that we don't know about that you've been involved in?
Well, family is a big part of my life, and the community is a big part of my life. But just finishing off that degree, but then just laying the foundations. Being involved in this, Oceania Tu and Talanoa has been exciting, and then a lot of the work with young people as well in our communities, and looking forward to the next chapter, because like that academic chapter's closed for now. Building up the business, my tapestry business, which I started in 2000. So 21 years ago, I started my business, and looking forward to diversifying and continuing with that, sharing stories of our Fijian community, of our youth, but also my own stories, and sharing that. Yeah, so I'm excited. So I always just have that as the base, music, art, storytelling, culture, travel, and I focus on that. It's always about helping me, my family, and my communities. And I just focus on those things, and then the actual activities or the opportunities come from that, you know? So that's how
Yes.
I project what I'm going to do for the next chapter. So I was saying earlier that next week I'm going to just take time out for a couple of days by myself, because in the islands it's never that with you, it's always the community and the family. So I'm going to switch off for a couple of days, right, connect with my ancestors and myself, and back to God as well about the next phase of life, because we're not guaranteed another year, another day, another month. So make it your best. What legacy are we going to leave for our next? I always think, what, and I know we're all doing that. but what else? I feel like we're operating at 50% capacity. I know I am, so I'm looking forward to boosting up and into the next phase. So I'm very excited about that.
For
Yeah.
you just managed to go home. Has that made a big difference? Like settled your soul a little bit?
Absolutely.
I really miss Samoa.
Absolutely.
I really miss home, and I feel like my creative streak is a bit stale. I actually need to go home, and you got to go home. Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. All right. Like just being able to walk on the land, right? I mean, we know the power just to stand there, put our feet in the ocean. We just get filled with the ideas, the inspirations, and all the negative stuff gets washed away and we can keep going. But yeah, I definitely felt that. And when you're on the plane looking down at Sydney, it gives you a bird eye view of the situation, right? And of what we've just come through. That's why I leave Sydney a lot, because as you know, I'm involved in so much. I need to lift myself out of it to reflect and process and then come back in for the next chapter. So very blessed, and God always has us. So when me and my sister checked in and we sat in, because I didn't know that we were going to go. I didn't know that we would get in because there's so much paperwork to get through and get on the plane and then get to Fiji. And when we finally got there, I said we just need to pray right now, and we're so blessed to be here right now, and let's just savor that moment for now and be thankful. And she goes, "Yep." So we had a moment. So very blessed, and I'm happy to be back and continue to make our Pacific and Fiji spaces in Sydney, because we miss the island so much, right?
Yeah, when you were talking about flying over the islands, I love it so much is when the plane flies over Upolu and you just see the blue water of Samoa, and then you see the trees as the plane's landing, like the coconut trees, and then you see the people, and then as you walk out the door, just that blanket of humidity hits your face, and it's like, you've breathed in
I'm
every
home.
goodness, and like it's just I can't it's hard to explain. And then I step off. This is literally me every time I go to Samoa. I want to just get on my knees and kiss the ground, like I want to, like I try to stop myself from sobbing. And even this is when the borders were open all the time, like I had to gulp down my tears. And that's been 2 years and we haven't been able to go home. And yeah, just can't wait for that moment. Can't wait to see
Hopefully soon, right? We hear that in Feb someone will open up. So we'll have to come with you.
I have to go to Fiji first.
Yeah,
because
it's only like an hour, right? Nandi to Apia, an hour
Yeah.
and a bit. But can I show you what my nephew made when I got home? Because we had to travel from Nandi for 3 hours in the backyard. He was like, "Dinner's ready." So he just took me out the back and uncovered. And like they didn't even, the meat was just chucked on the rocks. And, it's my nephew and his friend, and they just pulled the leaves off, sweet potato. And then how the meat gets stuck on the rocks? I was like, "Give me the rocks as well, please," because they were tossing it away. It's like, I want to eat. I was like just eating it off the rocks. That was like a highlight.
What I saw you posted something about a big crab that was in a pot plant, but you haven't got that here.
Oh yes, so the neighbors bought a pot, and the crabs were massive. I didn't put it up, but then my sister just curried it up. But this is one of the things that we love, the raw fish in the coconut bowl. Yeah, kokonda. What do Samoans call it?
Oka.
The raw fish?
OKA, oka.
Oka, yeah. Kokonda, we call.
What about this one, Cloud 9? I want to go there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is my timeout. But should I show you the video? I'll show you the video. Yeah, so you just go out to there, and then when you land, you're there. You can
Oh,
jump
that's
off and swim.
beautiful.
And it's about half an hour out of Nandi. So you go half an hour out, and then there's a bit of a lagoon, and they just drop you at that houseboat, and you hang out there. There's a DJ. It's a very met
A
the
DJ?
owner, nice guy. Yeah, the owner's a DJ as well, so they have a bar set up and they cook you food, and they were so happy to see us. Like, they were giving us free drinks and a bottle of wine and said thank you for coming to help us. They've been unemployed, you know, for like 18 months. They had to shut down. They were so happy to see us. I said, don't worry, I'm coming back. Bringing lots of people.
Bring
We're
some
all coming
friends.
back.
Yeah, I'm going.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, Trey. Trey, you know, just about the crab. So I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody I know, like I love dearly, went to the bathroom in Samoa. Like, we were in a hotel, and next minute she felt like this nibble, like, and looked down. There was a massive crab had crawled up through the pipes and was just sitting there looking up like this. Yeah,
Far out.
you know, you've gone like can't open your eyes, sat down, and next and then looks down and there's massive crab. Only in the islands, eh?
Oh my gosh.
Hilarious.
Only
That's
in
why
the islands, I tell you.
when I saw that crab photo, I just cracked up laughing and just thought of that. Yeah, I won't say who it was. You should probably kill me, but you know, before you leave, Trey, there's this show in New South Wales Art Gallery, Angela Tiatia's thing. I've got a little bit of a video. Guys, if you're in Sydney, school holidays are coming up, please go down and see this amazing art installation. It's a reply to Matisse's work. Here it is. It's probably not going to bring justice to what it actually looks like in real life, but it's there. Go in and there's this massive wall. It's huge, and it's just this beautiful pink. It reminds you of the islands, like complete. So yeah, if you ever are in Sydney, make sure you go and see that exhibition. Yeah. Who's this?
Yes, let's.
Well, we've come to the end of the show for the year. Our Moonlight thoughts or our sign-offs for today. What's your last thoughts, Trey?
My last thoughts, I've really enjoyed the opportunity to speak and to share on this show, right? It started out of a necessity and also to help ourselves, but others as well through the pandemic, and then it will continue in the new year. So just excited to be collaborating with yourself, MJ, and with our brother Sevu in Fiji, and I look forward to
ditched us tonight.
Maybe he wants us to go there.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next chapter, and yeah, take care everyone. We're going into the holiday season. Enjoy good food, and just take care of yourself. Banaka.
Yeah, thank you for joining us through the year. It's been a real privilege and pleasure to hang out with you guys on Thursdays, Trey and Sevu, who ditched us tonight to have a party. But I just wish everyone all the best. Stay safe. Enjoy every moment that you've got with your loved ones and the time at Christmas. Yeah, don't overindulge too much. Yeah, but thank you so much. Thank you, Tala. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Frida, Dal. Thank you for joining us tonight, and our loved ones all over the world. God bless you all. Until we see you. When are we coming back, Trey?
In January, date soon. Yeah, we'll post it up soon. Yeah. It's a surprise.
There are going to be some good things coming out of Oceania Tour. We're going to be doing some additional things, so we will update you a little bit more. But until then, God bless you. Bye, Paul and Fred. Fred's in the other room. He should come in and say goodbye. Freddie, come and say goodbye.
Bye, Grace. Lyrics.
Bye, Grace. Everybody. Merry Christmas. We wish
Merry
you a Merry
Christmas.
We wish you a
We
Merry
wish you a Merry
We
Christmas.
wish you
We
a
wish
Merry
you a Merry Christmas
Happy
and a Happy New Year.
Good tidings. Anyway,
Yay!
we'll stop singing now. Bye, mother, father.
Bye, mother, father.
Search within and create. You follow your dreams, lay it all on the plate. Turn it up, turn it down, take charge of your fate. Trust that he will meet